So again, the question is depending on the
volume.
Generally, it turns out within if it is 1,000 box, we are doing about 30 moves a crate. So you decide. It's like 10 hours if it is 1,000 box, like 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours.
What sort of revenue you expect by 2028 from this?
Do you have an answer? I've not even calculated that.
But you've calculated numbers in terms of capacity and other things. So
Yeah, but so our focus is not revenue. Okay. End of the day, we have to look at how much. I would say in terms of what is the utilization factor. So generally, we are targeting 90% utilization, and generally, if you take even $40, margins are roughly 70%. You can calculate based on that.
Should be minimum 4-digit.
Yeah.
So both Vizhinjam and Colombo put together ultimately will have a little more than 8 million TU capacity of transshipment, right?
More.
Okay.
More.
So what does that mean for Adani ports and SEZ?
What do you mean?
In the sense that how are you going to leverage that? And it's a different kind of.
It's a growing. It's the end of the day trade. We are still at a very nascent stage at the trade. If country needs to move to $5 trillion economy, trade has to increase. If trade has to increase, where is the capacity? Where is the capacity in the country? End of the day, trade growth has to be twice that of what the country's GDP growth is. And today we don't have that capacity, and that is what we are not worried about that. I think in our view, this will get filled up much faster than what we anticipate. So we have to be an enabler of the growth in the country, and we do believe that end of the day, whatever we are building today, it's not enough. Even today, what we are building is not enough. There is much. I mean, when we built this, everybody were questioning whether this will be filled up or not. Today, we are clocking almost 100,000 moves every month.
Yeah, you will hit 1 million.
We are already full. No, we are already full. We are already full. Our run rate is already at 1.2 million.
Do new projects like Andaman, do you think that can cause? Is it a concern or is it like a?
I don't think so. It's a concern. I don't think so. It's a concern. Country needs more. As I said, country needs more infrastructure, more points. It has to hedge its bets as much as possible. Less concentration is always better. I always believe that. So I think it will all of this will enable the growth of the country, help in reducing the trade cost, and that is what we have to aim for.
You were at the board meeting yesterday. What is the capex that you have for the year?
12,000?
12,000.
12,000.
11,000 to 12,000 is the guidance. 12,000.
And this will be broadly used for what?
So first is ports, where we are talking about 6,000, but ports mainly capacity expansion in Mundra, Colombo, and Dhamra, all the major ports where we are doing the capacity expansion. Then we have second pillar, which is the logistics. In logistics, we are investing, of course, in the rail network and so on, but most important, trucking and the warehousing. The third pillar for us is the marine, which is now a very distinctive business unit. So we are going to invest in marine. And the fourth one is what we have started is technology and decarbonization. So approximately 1,380 crores will be on technology and the decarbonization, which includes renewable energy and what you have seen technology here. We would like to copy paste these kind of technologies in our ports to improve the efficiency and effectiveness.
This will not include inorganic expansions. This 12,000
Sorry?
crores will be over and above that if at all you identify
M&As.
a target company and all that.
So that will be opportunistic. Not something that we have on our something which we can predict and say.
Right.
Similar opportunities see in other states.
Sorry?
Similar opportunities in other states for transshipment.
No, transshipment. See, you have to see this. That transshipment only works on major trade routes. Why Vizhinjam works is because it is 10 nautical miles away from the major trade route.
Yeah.
So any deviation a- any major deviation, if you ask shipping lines to make, it does not work because for them it's a cost. As long as you are on the major trade route, it's very difficult to replicate this kind of asset anywhere else in the country. Very, very difficult.
So any opportunities for imports you see other states?
In ports,
Yeah.
so ports we obviously we see Vadavan as a big opportunity as and when it happens. We do see organic growth in our ports already because the ports that we already have, 16 ports in the country, there we see a huge opportunity for further growth and expansion. So yeah.
Well, when do you see the multimodal connectivity actually coming to fruition?
In
The rail, yeah,
in Vizhinjam, it would be what government is talking
Sir,
about.
we have temporary connectivity road will happen in the next 3 to 4 months time.
Yeah.
The clover leaf between 18 to 24, full-fledged clover leaf on road.
Yeah.
28 there is the commitment. By the time we do the expansion, they will bring the rail also.
Governments, because railway has to be brought by government, so their commitment is 2028. What further innovation? So, as Ashwini mentioned, a lot of focus on decarbonization. So a lot of focus on usage of EV, usage of renewable energy. You will see, next time when you guys come, you will see that most of the trailers over here, which are right now diesel run, they will be all running on electric. So a lot of focus on that. A lot of focus on how do you bring in automation and robotics to help in terms of not reducing, but how do you improve efficiency even more than what it is. So, traditionally, when you look at when we start comparing ourselves with global players, we are stuck with the traditional method, and I think world has moved on quite ahead in terms of usage of automation and robotics, and we as a country we have an opportunity to leapfrog that because we've seen that leapfrog because of two aspects, because we are building new infrastructure, so that allows us to build in from day one, and second, we are not we don't have the overhang of our past, so that allows us to move quickly on adoption of these technologies, and I do believe that that will help in terms of drastically improving the productivity, efficiency, cost at an unimaginable level.
So Adani, what is the total investment done so far, and out of that, how much is your part, and when do you plan to recover that investment?
So roughly we've invested 7,000 crores right now, or what? Oh yeah, total invested is 7,000, right? 7,000 by government as well as by us and by government of India as well. I think from that our part would be roughly 4,000.
4,300.
4,300.
Have you received the VGF after the signing of the agreement recently? Have you actually received it?
No, we will receive it in this month.
From Government of India.
Both Government of India and Government of Kerala.
For how much? 816, 17?
816 from Government of India, for 400 something from Government of Kerala.
100 crores you
In lump sum, not in phases, right?
Yeah, that lump sum.
Okay. And in the context of the global tariff war, this
Sure.
container traffic is like slightly depressing. Do you see any impact in at least short term for Vizhinjam?
No, actually we are not seeing. So it's a little bit of misnomer because we assume that because of trade war, Europe is getting affected and China is getting affected, so India is getting affected. Actually, it's the other way around. For us, the trade is actually increasing more than double digit. I'm talking about as a country. I'm not talking about as APSEZ. It's a bit of misnomer when we believe that because of trade war there is a depression in the trade of container. You're right. It is a little bit of depression when you look at from Europe and from China perspective, but for India is in a very sweet spot in that way.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
तो गवर्नमेंट की जो आईमेक प्रोजेक्ट को बढ़ा रहे हैं आज बोरिंग जिन्हें भी इसका जिक्र किया, आपकी कंपनी इसको किस तरह से अपॉर्चुनिटी के तौर पे देख रही है?
So IMEC again, it's a great opportunity when you look at how do you as a country de-risk from one particular choke point, right? Suez Canal today is all said and done is a choke point. If one ship gets grounded, the whole global supply chain gets disrupted. So end of the day, it is all about self-reliance, right? So how do you create alternate routes possible? And I think IMEC is one of the great opportunity of creating that alternate route. That being said, I'm not saying it is going to be easy. You have almost 4 countries which are involved in this, so there are practical problems of customs, there are practical problems of paperwork, but I think if governments put their mind to it and if there's a will, I think there's definitely they will find a solution. And in our view, from our perspective as a company, we have Mundra, we have Vizhinjam, so all our western ports that can be a gateway to the IMEC corridor, and then the exit of the IMEC corridor, which is Haifa port, again in Israel, that is also operated by us. So we believe that we are in a good position to try to find a solution, giving end-to-end solution to consumers, to give them one-stop solution of the total transport of the total logistics movement on the IMEC corridor.
So for NQST acquisition, do you have any roadmap in place, like how you plan to utilize the synergies?
Thank you. I think at first our focus is to unleash all the potential we have in NQXT, right? So we are doing 37 million metric ton. At first we have to go to 50 million metric ton with the new customer acquisitions which are already in the pipeline. That itself will give us a significant increase on the margins, which are in dollar terms more than 15%, which is higher than what normally APSEZ should see in the coming years. And then to take it from 50 to 60 million metric ton. Then because we have got space, now the government of Australia, especially Queensland, have already identified this port as one of the potential green port, as a green hydrogen hub. And as you know that India is also in a good position for the green ammonia and the ammonia derivatives exports to South Asian countries. Australia is also has been identified to export that to Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hawaii, and so on. So those kind of synergies we see, that is one of the opportunity to take that port from 60 million metric ton to 120 million metric ton. So that's what is a long-term roadmap for us. So short-term, mid-term, and the long-term.
And so for this quarter, the exports were really good. The growth was really good. So do we see this continuing the trend?
In terms of the overall,
like the international volume business, that part I saw. I think it was a triple-digit growth this quarter.
triple digit this quarter. Yeah, because we didn't have the quarter 4. We didn't have Colombo starting, right?
Yeah.
Last year, Colombo in quarter 4. So that's why you would have seen, because new assets are coming on stream.
So how do you see the international business growing? The domestic volumes are good.
So international business, we have fired. Fired means our engines are fired in Sri Lanka, and we see a big ramp up over there. And answering to your question before in Colombo, Colombo has got a capacity of 7.5, and today they need more than 8. So if we add 3.2, it will go up to 10. So which means Colombo is short of capacity, and with our coming in, we are already booked, same as Vizhinjam. So that's why Colombo's engine is fired for the future growth, and now we will go for the expansion of it, as we explained in the capex. Haifa is doing extremely well. That's what, to answer your question. Last quarter they grew more than 30%. And as Israel is going for the reconstruction, the steel, the cement, the automotive, everything comes to our port, so we see a big demand over there. Tanzania, we are getting full and we are starting the expansion of the berth by 100 meters, so we already started that. And NQXT I just explained. So international, we said 2030 we should be 1 billion, out of which 150 was approximately international. We have clear visibility as on today without any inorganic growth to hit 148 by 2030. So I think we are done for that roadmap ambition which we had. What will come from now will be a bonus for us, which is any inorganic opportunity which comes in, which again, top line and bottom line growth.
In Colombo has also got expansion plans, right?
Yeah.
I mean, on the other side they are developing. Your second phase of Colombo is already on?
Yeah, we've started. Yeah, we started.
Okay. And for that, I mean, since this US FTA loan didn't, you're backed out of that. So are you looking at refinancing because you did it internally from your own?
We don't need. Actually, we have a other issue where we have more cash flow than what we can utilize for. So that's why if you see our net debt to EBITDA is, which used to be historically at 3.13, is right now at 1.9, and it will further come down to 1.5, which is not a good sign for us as a company. So we have. I don't see that as a big issue.
So the parent company lend money as debt.
Yes.
For the project.
Sir, in the morning, Chief Minister was saying very interesting, kind of anecdote rather. All the fishermen community, women are crane operators. And when we met last time, also you said you will ensure that.
Have you guys got a chance to see the crane operation below?
You could not even go inside. So that's a different story.
So we should take you guys downstairs and you will see live. You don't need to ask me that question. You will see there are 5 women operators right now operating the whole backup yard. So today we have 50% of our operators are women. 70% of our operators. Yeah, I'm talking about crane operators. 70% of our operators are from the state. 60% are from Trivandrum, and almost 40% are within the 10-kilometer radius.
Overall, not just operators.
Overall. Overall.
All strength put together, 70% is from the state.
When will you have a women CEO at one of your terminals?
Ask him.
So the day, I was explaining before also. For us, as Mr. Karan Adani has said, technology is an enabler. Technology is not the objective. So technology is an enabler which is creating inclusiveness to drive every diversity, irrespective of age, gender, competency, and so on. With just 3 months of training, you can shift 40 feet of container, which used to be, a job for some specific competency. I do believe Dhamra, if you are going, Krishnapatnam, you will see the women supervisors now. But I do believe at least the container one, our target is to go up to 50% by 2030 in terms of female. But yes, for CEO, that's a good advice. Let me work on it and come back. But that's a good feedback.
Cruise terminal का क्या है? Cruise terminal का? There is some discussion, right? I don't know who.
Last time that's what was discussed.
By?
Last time when we visited, there was a possibility for cruise terminal.
There's a possibility. Yeah, because environment clearance allows us to do a cruise terminal. Right now we've not planned. So
what is the capital outlay for the second page?
Roughly 13,000 crores.
1-3.
Roughly.
How much?
12 to 13,000 crores.
How much will be your part?
That's 100% our part. There's nothing from government.
So the part is in plan in near future.
No. As I said, we have more high cash generating than what we know what to do with. So, huh?
Give dividends.
So any plans for buybacks or?
So we've announced dividend as part of the board after the what board has approved.
So even after the dividends also your cash is still high?
Yeah, even after dividends, you want to maybe talk about the cash?
Yeah, I mean, at first, what's important for us is how we are creating long-term wealth for our shareholders instead of distributing short-term, right? So that's why we are increasing our presence and spending of capex on mid to long term growth. That's why now we are strengthening our logistics and marine pillar, right? 10 years, 15 years before, Mundra was like 1% ROCE, right? Now today we are talking about more than 20% ROCE on our domestic ports. So on one side, we have to put our money on efficiency and effectiveness improvement on the existing capacities, but then we have to expand the existing capacities, but most important, start building the new capacities, not only in ports, but the other business units. That's why marine and this thing is important. So this is, right. Now, when we say 7, it is in line with short-term and mid-term and long-term cash and wealth creation for our shareholders. Now, if you look at our cash flow for the next year, right, if you take out depreciation and so on, right, so we still have some cash available, which definitely, first opportunity we get on the inorganic capex, we would like to go for it. Again, condition is top line and bottom line growth. So I think it's too early to say that we have an option for buyback, but we do believe, and Mr. Adani has said, that we have huge potential, especially, talked about IMAC between Southeast Asia, India, Middle East and Africa. We have huge potential.
In continuation to that, strategically for international expansion, which area would you be looking at? Which country would you be looking at?
So, as mentioned earlier also, Southeast Asia is an area of interest. And obviously East Africa is also of interest. So we keep looking at opportunities as and when it comes up.
Have you identified any ports?
So how many more transshipment ports is Adani Ports looking to build?
Right now, nothing. Other than Colombo and Vizhinjam, what we have, nothing right
What
now.
about terminals? Are you looking at any terminal projects anywhere?
In India?
Anywhere, like.
Not actively. I think we are as and when opportunity comes, because right now in India, at least what we see is for the next 2 years there are no new terminals which are coming up. I think after 2 years all the biddings will start when the concession are coming to the end of life, and so that's the time, that's the opportunity to. Sorry. So that's all two years down the line.
Haven't heard much about Diggy after you took over. What anything happening there?
So we are working with government on the railway line. I think bringing in the railway line is the first most important thing before we even do anything on the port side, because end of the day, without having a right connectivity, it's very difficult for the port to grow.
But that's going to take a while, right?
Target is 2 to 3 years time to have that connectivity.
Will you be also participating in the rail line as an
Yeah.
SPV or
No,
something?
not as a SPV. We are building it. The government, we've asked, the land acquisition is going on with the government, but the investment will be done by us because it's under the NGR policy of Indian Railway.
Transport, any.
You should have known more than what you're asking me. But no, we've not heard back from government, so we don't know what government think about, what West Bengal government is thinking, honestly.
That's why you're bidding very aggressively in Kolkata port. All the berths you're getting.
ठीक है ना. We need entry, so we need entry.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, you're right.
How many berths do you have there now?
Calcutta we have 1, no 2, and Haldia we have 1.
We'll close. Yeah.